Sup everyone, welcome back to another video. So I've had Silverwolf for almost 24 hours now. I was able to test her in a lot of different teams because thankfully I got lucky. I got a bunch of 5-star characters with a bunch of different elements with different playstyles, advantages, disadvantages. And after playing Silverwolf, both in Memory of Chaos and also some casual content and stuff whatnot, I'm able to get a much better feel for this character. Now the current problem, all right, I'll highlight the problem for her right now before we go into some of the pros and how you can actually leverage her to benefit your account. The biggest problem right now is how the weakness application is calculated. So for example, this team, wow, amazing, right? We got 2 quantum, 1 wind, 1 lightning. So in this particular scenario, let's say the enemy is not weak to any of these elements. Unlucky, right? This is the only team you have. Like, let's say as a free-to-play player, if you have this team as a free-to-play player, you are considered incredibly lucky. There's a much higher chance that your team is gonna look like, for example, this, right? This is fine as well. So in this scenario, let's say if the enemy is not weak to physical or lightning and quantum, so how is it calculated? And today we've tested this over and over again, but it seems like it's calculated per element, not how many of that element exists on your team, but that element counts as 1 entry. So even though we have 2 quantums on the team, it still only counts as quantum by itself, physical by itself, and lightning by itself. So when Silverwolf goes to apply the weakness onto the enemy, it's 33%, which really feels kind of sucky. Not the fact that it's fair between all the characters, but it's just that now it makes Silverwolf a much more difficult unit to flex into other, let's say, a triple lightning team. Let's construct a triple lightning team here with Silverwolf. So let's say I have this, and Silverwolf. So, oh, sorry, my bad. Let's get rid of Branya and put in Ting Yun. So the original idea was, okay, I'm gonna flex Silverwolf into triple elemental teams to have a high chance of applying the element. Like in this case, it would be lightning onto the enemy, and then in this case, then I would be able to kind of blast through the content. That was the idea. Now it's 50-50. It's 50% lightning, 50% quantum, and that is a problem because now triple elemental teams plus a Silverwolf doesn't necessarily feel as good, although do understand that Silverwolf herself does bring quite a punch to the team in terms of DPS, but she's no carry, right? She's supposed to be a supportive character that does some damage while also applying a bunch of debuffs to enemies, which she does amazingly. But now this option has become less incentivized for people to play with, now leaving her to be almost an exclusive, I would say, either mono quantum team debuffer or a situational debuffer. What do I mean by that, right? So this is what we're going to talk about her pros, in my opinion. This is like pro and con. Silverwolf is amazing when you have enough characters to fill the weakness that the enemy has. What the hell do I mean, right? So let us go to Memory of Chaos. I was just doing this prior to recording because in Memory of Chaos, you have enemies that come with a bunch of different stats. And thanks to Silverwolf, I was able to cheese my way through some of these fights that I had no business winning. As you guys see, my characters are level 60, and the most recent fight I just did, I was able to beat characters that are level 75. And of course, Silverwolf is attributed to a large amount of this success. However, for people who don't have enough characters to flex for Silverwolf to take advantage of, you are not going to be able to leverage this aspect of her kit, right? So I remember it was this chamber. So this boss has physical, ice, and quantum weak to it, right? And this boss also has quantum weakness. So now Sealit can go on both of these sides. So what I did for this side is I wanted to force lightning onto this enemy. So what I did with this was I brought Silverwolf with Jingyuan. So I brought Jingyuan with Tingyun, which they're both lightning, and then I brought Jeopard with Silverwolf. So now looking at it like this, Jeopard fulfills the ice, Silverwolf fulfills the quantum, which means the only weakness, if any, applied to the enemy is going to be lightning. Suddenly, my Jingyuan and Tingyun, who had no business contesting this boss at level 60 at that, right, was able to clear. This is basically what I'm talking about. If you have the flexibility of characters in your account that can meet the requirements for Silverwolf to force apply the element that you want, she is still incredibly good. So for people who are curious, for the second team, I just ran Seele, Bronya with Bailu, and then I ran this. So this is basically the so for a lot of people who like, okay, you could have ran Fire MC. Of course you could have. I'm just saying, look at my account right now. I have 9 characters at level 60, 9 light cones at level 60. I'm working on Clara. I'm still trying to work on Fire MC. How many free to plays? Be realistic with me. How many free to plays has the resource to do what I'm doing? And on top of that, how many free to plays have the flexibility of the units that I have as somebody who has swipe? Very few, if any. So at the end of the day, if you pull Silverwolf, your Silverwolf most likely is going to end up just RNGing most of your combats. Even in Memory of Chaos, if you've made it to Memory of Chaos, it's just going to be RNG. You don't have the flexibility to actually leverage what makes her good. Forced weakness application is her thing. What this character essentially is, being completely honest with you guys, is basically you're gonna have to be like a spender or somebody who pulls a bunch of different units to fill your rosters. Let's say you have Quantum, Lightning, Wind, Imaginary, right? You got some physical in there. You have 3 to 4 different teams of characters built up, ready to slot in at a moment's notice. Let's say, oh, I can force a wind weakness onto the enemy, then I'm gonna have to get Blade. But if you say you don't pair Silverwolf with Seele, but Silverwolf is in the second team, then you're gonna have to find the perfect DPS to facilitate her kit. It's kind of like you need somebody else to work with Silverwolf's kit, as opposed to Silverwolf working with other people's kit. She's a weird character for sure, in my opinion. I made a video talking about her before she came out, saying that this will be the scenario we're going to end up in, because it seems like that Hoyoverse doesn't want people to get away with just pulling one character and playing a mono elemental team for the rest of the game. Although that is coming up very soon, because once we get a 4 quantum team, then Silverwolf actually gets slightly bumped up in terms of how useful she is. Because then if you have Seele, let's say if you have a quantum healer and you have a quantum other support or whatever, you have a 4 quantum roster, then you can actually use that team to brute force any type of content there currently is in the game, pretty much, right? So that's a potential in the near future, potentially, right? There are rumors saying there are more quantum characters coming relatively soon, so we can see that possibility. But in the long term, I'd say a year or so, Silverwolf by her rerun is going to be a far more desirable character. I'll reiterate this as many times as I need. Once you yourself have an account that is flexible, you are already cycling through different DPS options with different elemental typings, then you add a Silverwolf to your account, oh, chef's kiss, you're gonna be unlocking so many more potential, so many more different ways to play the game. She's like a multiplier. The bigger the base number, the bigger the result you're gonna get. Right now, my account currently has I think every character except 2. So with this account currently, Silverwolf feels good, but she is still not almighty. She doesn't feel like every scenario we're gonna be able to fit her into it nicely. Right now, for example, the Memory of Chaos I'm about to go into, I'm kind of scratching my head a little bit, but that's also because I don't have Clara leveled up. I don't have a good physical option to combat a level 78 boss. But give me some time sitting down here and kind of working my way through this. I'm sure I can figure something out. Overall, I think that Silverwolf is an A tier character as of now, but will rise to S rank in the time to come, which is really weird to say. Even if the game doesn't do anything to directly buff Silverwolf, just with more characters coming out, give the players more time to build their account, she starts leveling up in the tier list, right? So Silverwolf is good. I don't want people to get the idea that she's a bad character. It's just currently right now you guys won't be able to use Silverwolf. It's like right now, if I were to provide you guys with the most advanced quantum computer the world has to offer for you right now at your apartment, at your house, right, like in your rental unit, what are you gonna do with it? you can't do anything with it. You're gonna have to go learn quantum computing, you're gonna have to go learn all this stuff, and once you equip yourself with the knowledge to use this tool, right, the means to actually take advantage of all it has to offer, then this tool becomes something of great value. It's just right now people don't have the means to use Silverwolf to the ability that she was designed for. Yeah, a problem that will be fixed with time. And if you guys don't want to wait for her rerun, be like, oh, so that means in about 6 months I should be able to leverage Silverwolf, and I don't want to wait for her rerun, then get her now. If you see yourself pushing your account, diversifying it immensely, then pull Silverwolf and have her in the back burner for now. Because right, I'll be honest with you, if you level this character up to 70 till 80 and you're not able to flex her into multiple teams to apply the weakness that you want, she's gonna feel very awkward at times. Sure, debuffing the enemy's defense is huge, but like honestly, with the well-invested Tingyun, which a lot of you guys might already have, I really feel like, being honest with you, the damage output is very similar. Like Tingyun buffing the crap out of Sile or Jingyuan, or her debuffing the enemies, feels like it's yielding similar results at this point. But where I think Silverwolf is irreplaceable are those cheese scenarios where you break her away from Sile and help the second team to force a weakness onto the enemies. When those stars align, it feels great. To be honest, Sile never really needed this kind of debuffing on enemies to like smash through the opposition, which is funny to say because everybody thought she was gonna be permanently stuck on a Sile team. But in my honest opinion, Silverwolf truly shines when she's not on a Sile team. That's when you realize, my god, this character is something special. But that's all I have to say. Thank you guys so much for watching. Silverwolf is great, solid A tier character with great potential to move up to S tier eventually, and I look forward to that day. I'm going to be pulling for more characters. Next one that I really want is Kafka. So yeah, skipping Locha. As you guys see, I got Bailu here. Probably skipping Locha, and in doing so, Blade as well. So yeah, if you guys are pulling for Locha or Blade, love to borrow your account. But until the next one, urge y'all to stay safe. Peace, peace. Bye-bye.